record whenever you are.
Yay. Good, because I just hit record. Oh, I haven't put it on that source. There we go. So fair warning, there has been a little bit of alcohol imbibed already, so this is going to be a fun episode.
On his end, I can't drink. Although I do have a can of root beer I need to open up. It is about twice the size of a normal can. So one of those large alcohol cans that stands like this, they have a brewery in Stillwater that makes a root beer in those cans. And it tastes like it's got some cream, like it's a cream soda root beer hybrid. I've got one.
So it's sarsaparilla.
Kind of.
That's what a cream soda root beer is. That's sarsaparilla.
Yeah, it's called root beer. Of course, all sarsaparilla is called root beer now, unless you go to... well, there are some sarsaparillas that are still sold. Usually, if you go to like Wall Drug, you can get sarsaparilla yet.
The fact I know things like this actually kind of disturbs me a little bit. Just a skosh.
How often do you hicks out there even run into sarsaparilla? Aside from there, like Iron Horse root beer, I think does sell a sarsaparilla.
There's root beer, sassafras, sarsaparilla. There is I'm trying to remember what the other one is. It's molasses.
Yep.
Let's see. And they're all derived from the same fucking shit. And why are we even talking about... What have you already got me into? I have not had...
Because you were the one who was talking about alcohol.
True.
And that's the only beer I can drink is root beer. Because I see I'm on prescription medication, so I can't mess with alcohol.
I see the logical jump here.
Yep.
I see the logical jump.
But somebody does. Speaking of root beer...
It's still Chicago.
It's probably about a week and a half old, but it hasn't really been opened, so what the hell. Hey, I just topped off a 2-week-old bottle of, thing of Coke Zero. After a while, it all tastes the same. Tastes just like it does when I opened it the first time. Root beer doesn't go bad, really. The soda actually tasted more like flavored water.
Anywho.
See, kids, this is why you need to have visitors come over, because after a while, you just don't give a shit. I don't think I've thoroughly cleaned this apartment in the 6 years I've been here.
The amount of fucks he gives are minimal. Just like the amount of fucks I give right now.
My field of fucks is quite barren, has been for some time when it comes to this apartment.
Ignore the man pouring more vodka into his container here.
What have you got, a pony keg over there or something?
Okay. Consider that my camera here is sitting on top of a 27-inch monitor, 27 TV, and this is how tall the bottle is. It's almost half gallon of vodka. I'm gonna have a good weekend. Anyways,
nice to be you. I work tomorrow.
I have the weekend off. I'm enjoying it, especially since I work in retail and we are about to hit Black Friday. Oh my God, kill me now!
Yeah, several Amazon, Walmart, Sam's
Target,
Club. They all have even Best Buy has stuff going on.
And that's something. Okay, there's a little more vodka that I meant to put in there. Holy crap!
I've got about $250 in bills left.
I have no money to spend on Black Friday. No money at all.
I'm actually tempted. I've posted in here, either with you or somewhere, I posted that I'm looking for a computer to take on the road if I want to do podcasting or something.
True.
Because I do have the one here, but I'm pretty much, once I get a laptop, I'm going to try getting Ubuntu or Linux. And because article said if you want to take a XP computer and really still want to be able to use it, the best bet is Linux.
Yeah.
Because it's very resource light.
Yeah.
So,
And that is very nice. And ignore me stroking my mic over here. I'm trying to get some extra dog fur off. I didn't realize.
I was going to say something about cleaning the dildo, but I'll be quiet there. What? Okay. Would you? Okay. Since we're already kicked ourselves down into the abyss, as even in a porn movie, I can't imagine putting something like that on a dildo. That would just not. For one thing, I know those things, and they come off very easily, which could create problems. Is that fitted?
Yes, it's actually designed for a Blue Yeti, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It was one of those wise investments I occasionally engage in when I've got the money. It's sort of like today I'm supposed to be having a monitor mount actually come in.
Nice.
I found a rather nice deal. It's a swinging arm monitor mount. So I can move my left-hand monitor here over top of my right-hand monitor, and then it's just vertical. And it will be so much nicer on me. It'll be so much nicer instead of having to go right, left, right, left, right, left. Fuck my life. So that'll be really nice. And I found it really cheap for $30, especially since...
Oh, that's a good price, actually.
Oh, God. Especially since the base has two USB ports. So I plug it into my computer. I've got two USB ports right here. Voila. And that is a highlight to Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. There are some great deals. Now,
oh yeah.
When you aren't piss ass broke like I am, because I am in my old age and my man titties getting responsible.
Old age, my foot.
No. I'm making sure I pay all my important bills before I try to buy frivolous shit.
Yeah. That's actually, I was thinking about this today. I've got enough now. I want to get some kind of outfit for First Squared. And now I've got 6 more checks coming because I get paid weekly, which is awesome. I love getting paid weekly. It's a lot easier to get your bills paid off and get everything done.
I can sit here and I can argue back and forth because I have suffered, and before we get back into the Black Friday thing, is I have gone through different jobs where I have been paid on a job per basis. I have worked weekly. I have worked bi-weekly, and I have worked monthly. And I've done technically a salary job, but that's neither here nor there. That's a job I don't talk about, that one right there. But I honestly, my most preferred really is bi-weekly jobs. And for people who aren't into the economy, or people who are like young enough and aren't worrying about a job because you live at home with mommy and whatnot, honestly, pay attention here. This is actually important economic shit you need to know. Because at least with a bi-weekly, every 2 weeks you get paid, you are guaranteed 2 paychecks a month. There will be 2 months, 2 different monthly periods, generally at the beginning or the end of the year, that you will have 3 paychecks. 26 period cycle per year, So it is really nice to, it's like, you get paid on this day every 2 weeks. You can calculate, okay, if you have 32 hours scheduled this week and 32 hours scheduled this week, you combine those hours, you take out, your 18% or whatever you take out in taxes, and in a generalized ballpark of how much you were making. And then you double that if your schedule does not fluctuate too much, and that is your monthly income. You can also then apply it to a yearly, and then you can do better math. And this is actually important stuff, because we're weekly. Say there's one day where you go home early. Well, that takes a significant cut out of your check. And then the next week, you work a whole lot more hours. And then a week after that, you work like one day. Weekly is very unpredictable, and hazardous to a certain degree unless you are management. Conversely, salary, whereas you are paid, say like the 10th of every month. You were paid just the 10th of every month. And is your whole month's, the whole previous month's check. Okay, then you have to budget out what you are making for that whole month. Every single bill, every possible emergency, everything. You have to balance it out. Salary, yes, forces you into a budget, forces you to, think about, oh, I've got this, da-da-da-da. Whereas bi-weekly has a little bit of flexibility. It allows you to work with, possibilities and things like that, and you aren't as constrained, but you also have to think about your budget at the same time. It's a nice balance of all the goods and of all the evils. When the fuck did we become an economy show suddenly? What the hell happened here?
I was
I have alcohol. Yeah. That's what happened.
You started that. I was listening a while ago. I can't remember who I was with, but they were talking about that. And actually, I think it was in a Discord.
Quite possible.
They were talking about getting paid. Somebody made the statement, "Oh, I'd love to get paid by the month and then have everything." I'm like, no. I live ever since I left college and I got on Social Security. I've been paid once a month. It sounds good. I'm not saying it isn't good. It sounds good.
It has its uses at times.
But you have zero room for error.
Yeah. If you have an emergency crop up or, like your car explodes or is stolen.
Right. Or let's say, okay, this happens a lot. Let's say you get behind something, a rock comes up and cracks your windshield. Yeah. If you don't have insurance, which I don't for that, that's $300-400 you could be. And if you really are fucked and somehow something hits your back, like I have a heated rear windshield. You remember Angela? No, you don't remember Angela's gray car. We had a gray car, a little like Citation size,
but
that had a heated.
I understand.
Yeah, and it took us a long time to even find one, much less replace it. So,
well, and with
stuff like that, you can't handle that.
You either have to sit there and while you are setting up your monthly budget, account for any possible emergency, and you have to take a lump sum out of your check and set it off to the side for emergencies. And if nothing happens, cool. You saved a little bit of money, stick it in the bank, you're good to go. But if something happens and it's worse than you imagined, then you're in a deeper hole than you were before.
Yeah. Well, that's when I lived in Wenatchee, and actually everywhere I lived in my life until Mankato. Basically, anytime something really went bad with my car, I had to get rid of it. You remember the Pinto?
Yep.
Pinto, actually, for all the joking, ran remarkably well.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 5-speed. It was really, I got good gas and everything. But the problem was the starter went out.
Yeah.
And at my budget, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
The only way I have had my Concorde, as long as I have, is the first thing that happened when I got back is I went to Tires Plus. And they said, oh, well, you've got, why don't you apply for this $1,200 thing? And then if it costs $250, you get 6 months no interest. If it costs more than $500, you get 18 months no interest. And it is only because of that car. I have probably put $3,000 or $4,000 between that car and my dad's car.
Yeah.
And that is the only reason I am still debt free, is because I would do that, and then either with Gunther's or with Fun at the end of the year, the first bill to go is Tires Plus. So that bill is always paid, but it's only because of those that I still have a car. If I was in the same, if I didn't have that card, I would most likely, well, I know I wouldn't have the Concorde.
You would be in the same kind of position I'm in.
I would probably be on my third car by now, just because of how much I bought that Concorde for $1,000. I know for a fact I put at least $1,500 into it before I left.
Yeah.
And I've been here, 6 years.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
I've put at least $5,000 more into cars.
Yeah.
So there is no way without that card. And you're not always going to be that lucky. Yes, you may have a card, but if you try and put it on, like, I've got a Wells Fargo card I could use. That's nice, but I don't have that interest prop. So yeah, you can put it on there, but then you have interest.
Yeah.
That costs a lot.
Interest is the devil. Sometimes it really is.
That is why I like weekly, is because it's good for weekly is ideal for emergency. Because every week, like I just got paid for the last week, I got about $230. That's good. That means I get about 200, 250 a week. That is enough to literally take care of any problem that could come up.
Well, at least for you and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of the thing there, is that is where a weekly paycheck does work out, because you already have one source of income and this is just a supplementary, and this helps pay your bills. And I really want to move away from where we were and back to Black Friday, because that's a little more interesting. Because what the fuck? We are turning into old men. We are turning into old men.
You're turning into one. I'm laughing and watching you catch up with me. So
we're turning into old men, and we're talking about money. What the hell happened to us? That is what happened. So anyways, Black Friday. So talking about Black Friday, going back to Black Friday, because I want to go back to Black Friday, because I just realized we spent about 10 minutes talking about finances. What the hell is wrong with us? But Black Friday is coming up along with Thanksgiving, and we all know that Chaos hates, family holidays. And I am, on one hand, thoroughly glad I'm going to be working Black Friday. On the other hand, I am going to hate that day. Because I work in retail. But I not only work in retail, I get off at 7 a.m. that day, and I have to be back at work at 3 p.m.
Go home, sleep, come back, work.
Won't even get the sleep. Not to be able to get back to work on time. I will not be able to sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
But
hope
at
you
least
have a lot of Monster.
Yeah. At least the highlight to that is I have the next day off. But Black Friday, it's always kind of interesting, because I laugh. Is a lot of people see Black Friday as a consumer as a great way to make Christmas shopping, get great deals, things like that. And to a certain extent, that's very true. There are some great deals, but part of that does come to back to financing, where companies just order so many of X item and sit there and go, well, supplies last. Here, buy now, buy now, buy now. And they they basically sell things just a little above at cost. And that, for the consumer, is great. However, at the same time, in the last couple of years, we've seen Black Friday hasn't been as lucrative for quite a few corporations in the last few years. I think Amazon's one of the few companies, and Newegg, that's been making a killing off of it every year with their Black Friday and their Cyber Monday deals.
Yeah. Cyber Monday is the one I'm looking forward to, because what I want to do, like I said when we started, I want to get a laptop for travel. And all three of the ones I'm looking at are the two I'm really looking at are Best Buy, and that's because they have solid state drives. And I don't give a fuck about price. I want a solid state drive, just because the laptop I have now takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To do, and I'm like, no, I no.
Must boot faster.
Even at the highest, they're $250, $300. They're not that expensive over Black Friday. So.
No, not for like a cheap dinky laptop. No, they aren't. They aren't that bad at all.
I want something I could podcast with, or like at the most, like download Steam and play a couple of you know, maybe play Plague Inc. or something that isn't graphically
Let's be
intense.
honest. Let's be honest. You'll be looking at furry porn and Rule 34.
On a laptop, I'd have to do Rule 34. I don't want to imagine how hard that would be without a mouse. So, is all you got on those stupid fucking laptops are touchpads. Although I will probably get myself another Logitech wireless.
Not gonna say it. Not gonna say what I was gonna say.
I didn't realize Logitech or Rule 34 has 2 websites now. They have .com and then they have .xxx, which is a hell of a lot nicer to surf than .com.
Okay, moving away from where the hell we've gone with this.
Just keep blaming him. He's the one who keeps making these sideways and then gets surprised when I actually go through with with the little gauntlet he threw down there. You'd think he would have learned this by now.
You know, sadly enough, an audio file I have queued up is perfect for this. There is an explanation to this. So, kind of moving on, because I really want to kind of touch this one. This one kind of is a little follow-up to my, EAnicron.
You underestimate me.
For what my happy co-host is missing out on is, yes, I did add an audio file of "You Underestimate Me." Orson Welles, we gotta appreciate it.
Yes.
So
I saw that in the theater, and I'll swear until my dying day that is one of the most impressive sights you'll ever see on a theater screen. Is Unicron's transformation on a 30-foot by what 50 screen? That's watching
impressive.
A planet transform is really awesome.
But
when you're getting that size.
But EAnicron, who in recent days has been taking a lot of flack. I kind of covered this in my, talking about EAnicron and its factory of bullshit and its soul-devouring badness. Well, EAnicron, and I will never get tired of saying that, has kind of backpedaled after their massive PR disaster after massive PR disaster. Recently, because the devs for DICE, that's who it was, DICE, developers who were bought up by EAnicron, and the creators of Star Wars Battlefront 2. After the initial posting that has, I think, finally reached 1 million downvotes, or just about, where they justified loot boxes and 40 hours of grinding to unlock Darth Vader. They then, took a left turn and decided, we'll reduce the price of loot boxes and certain cards to make things more powerful, and we'll reduce the cost of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and we'll do these other things. And oh yes, surprise! We're gonna do a Reddit AMA on this day at 9:30 in the morning. This is PR incident number 2.
Yeah,
and I think, honestly, truthfully, EAnicron should have stopped while they were behind.
Oh, definitely. They were.
They got lambasted by Sid Alpha, who if you've not heard of Sid Alpha, go check him out on YouTube and on Twitter. Sid Alpha is a very calm, very kosher, very direct, very even-paced game reviewer and narrator of gaming events and news. I do seriously go check out some of his work. He is also currently kind of tangled in a continuing on legal battle, much like Jim Sterling, who also lambasted the shit out of EA, who had one of the highest rated upvoted comments and questions for the AMA, and nothing was ever addressed with him.
No, I have seen where he talked about it, but I don't know what he said in it.
And another one, I do believe even Total Biscuit entered some questions, and I know quite a few game reviewers and commentators and whatnot hopped on and asked questions, and pretty much the questions that were asked, that they spent some time screening and choosing and cherry picking, and most of them ended up as bluffs and as political ease to so people could sit there and
Underestimate me.
underestimate EAnicron. And, well, that kind of continued to backfire on them, especially when it came public that they removed, well, not technically removed, but they hid the refund option for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I remember Jim mentioning that.
And that kind of further added on to this whole dilemma, where you had to go through manual sourcing and other things to refund the game if you bought it digitally. And it finally took the shareholders losing money after the developers pretty much admitted that they were in cahoots with the loot box ideologies so they could earn more money. It took the shareholders sitting there going, oh, the stock has plummeted. We're losing money. How do we fix this? So they shut off. They disabled and shut off the loot box system.
Yep.
Which should be a terrifying concept to anyone. First off, that the developers themselves were in cahoots with the shareholders and the publisher about integrating, so heavily integrating and introducing and interweaving the loot box system into the game. They were in legitimate fucking cahoots with EA to put this system in. It's not like with Square Enix where they crowbarred in the loot box system for a few games. It's not like a few other games, and there's so many examples out there, where they found ways to crowbar, wedge in, nudge, or force a developer to move this. No, DICE all but admitted they from the get-go designed the game around the loot box system to aid and to abet the actions of EAnicron. It's like they fucking, it's like they expect us to underestimate how evil they are. We don't underestimate how evil they are. We know how evil they are now. We just now know how evil DICE is. That they are willing to go this far to aid EAnicron in their evil fucking schemes. Now.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, they flipped the switch and turned off the loot box system. So it is proven that much unlike mobile games, or rather like how mobile games have been dragged to the computer market with such great AAA titles like Star Wars Battlefront 2, that they can turn off the loot box system. It's just a simple flip of the switch and it's gone. Oh look, it's not there. But that also means that once the fury and all that fun stuff has died down, that EAnicron will, with its cohorting little Decepticon-like buddies, DICE. See how I kind of work that in there? Speaking about crowbarring. Can flip it back on when people aren't paying attention anymore. And, they'll be making their extra millions that they've lost because this whole fucking debacle. You also have to consider that, and this was a point that Jim Sterling brought up, and this is actually a very good point that should really be noted, that companies like Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, and quite a few other companies who have been, even Square Enix have been crowbarring in loot boxes as of late into various games, have probably looked at EA and went, you fucked up this beautiful thing we were running with, you dumbasses, because they got too greedy. Those greedy little fat fucking pigs in suits decided they wanted to take one load too many across the face of the money shot. And now the rest of the porn star gaming publisher community is going, you're an idiot. You've got pink eye now. And that pink eye is pissed off gamers everywhere. Congratulations. You fucked it up for all of us. Because when sites like Kotaku, Polygon, The Mary Sue, and IGN, GameStop, GameSpot, and countless other video game reporting websites are all running the exact same narrative about how twisted and fucking evil not only loot boxes are, but EA is, and how Overwatch introduced the evil of loot boxes. There are companies now scrambling to sit there and go, well, now we need to tone back the loot box so we don't make EA's mistake. Which, for the gamer, that benefits us all.
Yeah, for now.
For now. Until, oh wait, like I said, the fury dies down, and they can flip the switch and turn the loot boxes back on, and no one will pay attention, except for guys like Jim Sterling, Sid Alpha, Total Biscuit, ourselves, who will sit there and continue to bitch about loot boxes and the loot box system, and how it is fucking gambling. And that brings me to my final point. The Belgian government. I occasionally make a joke about the Belgian, just because I occasionally make a, Austin Powers reference, they were Belgian, or, fucking Belgians. It's kind of like my cheese-eating surrender monkey jokes involving the French from many years ago. For those who have been listening to these shows for so long, there's a throwback joke for you. The Belgian government is now investigating the loot box system to determine whether or not the entirety of the loot box system in all video games that utilize the loot box system should be regulated and controlled and thus overseen by the government as gambling. EA really stepped in dog shit this time, and it went up to their hip. Good job, EAnicron. Good job. I salute you for getting mud on your face. You are now the PewDiePie of the game developing world. Good job. This actually is a good thing for gamers across the world, to a certain extent. Is with at least I know the British government has been investigating it. The Chinese government has said various interesting things about it, along with Taiwan and Vietnam and Korea. Japan has had a few odd spots here and there. And, the United States, we kind of have our thumbs so far up our asses, we can, taste what we have under our fingernails from last week. But with various world governments now investigating the entirety of the loot box system and its RGN RGN setup for cold hard cash, is providing an interesting look for, the government to interfere in shit again because, oh wait, it took one asshole going one step too far. Thanks, EAnicron.
That's usually what needs to be done, yeah.
We've seen this happen before with the controversy where the Christian right got their, buttholes puckered so tight they could shit out diamonds with Mortal Kombat in the day. Where, that introduced us to the game entertainment systems. And my dog just knocked over something. Yes, okay. It was cold and wet on my foot. It was not happy. Anyways, but suffice to say, with the governments now involved and investigating and looking at things, it could be a very bad day for gamers because, oh wait, that means more regulations, that means more government oversight, that means more this and that for any game that may be deemed by them to be gambling because of the loot box system or what have you. And that could, because, the government never tends to go half-assed, they tend to go full-bore retard. And then it becomes the issue of where you look at, say, Overwatch. the, bastard patient zero of loot boxes and the progenitor of our current woes, where, yes, it is very random on what you're going to get out of the system, but none of it actually affects gameplay. Yes, there is the pseudo-gambling aspect because you pay money for possibly getting what you want, or possibly losing out and being told, fuck you, bitch. On the other hand, because it doesn't affect gameplay, it doesn't affect the core game in any way, shape, or form, that, for most of us, we sit there and say, that's not really gambling. Whereas you look at EAnicron and their stupidity, that is flat gambling. But to a government overseer, where is the dividing line? Exactly. So, EA stepping in it so badly, or rather EAnicron stepping it so badly, eating a developer company, like Respawn, and getting indigestion, it's now shitting out problems that we all need to be keeping an eye on. Because if one government decides legitimately, fully, and completely to sit there and say anything with a loot box in it, no matter what type of system it is, no matter what the loot box is, no matter whether or not it's cosmetic or actually affects gameplay, is to be deemed gambling and needs to be regulated under under their federal government, then that opens up a Pandora's box of more problems. Because we've seen how well government regulation works out with the, MPAA system, with the, the game rating system, and how such a piece of shit that is. And so many others.
And let's not forget, one of the big things is people will, it's the argument the NRA likes to make. Well, people will always find a way to get it. Mm-hmm. You can rate and you can legalize and illegalize and do everything you want to. That was the whole thing they were talking about with the RSB way back in the day. It's like, well, now you'll have to, go buy Mortal Kombat from some dude in a trench coat on the corner because, it will be one of those, it'll be looked down on because it's an explicit. Well, for fuck's sake, have you seen what's in the store now?
Oh, God. Have you seen what's on Steam anymore, okay?
It will just, the most it would do is sideline things for a couple of years, but it would work itself right back in eventually. And you would still be able to get those games.
Yeah.
You might have a slightly longer toss, which nobody reads, to click on, but they can regulate as much as they want. The thing's here, we're not going to get rid of it.
But the
much as it'd be nice.
But the problem is, and I've lived around casinos and I've dealt with people who gamble a lot and things like that, is the gambling commission, especially for like the United States of America, the Federal Gambling Commission, who is an offshoot of, tobacco, firearms, etc., etc., etc. Their regulation and efforts for controlling things are, the nicest way to put this is borderline psychotic. Every effort is made to make it accommodating and easygoing for the consumer, and hard and tough and ridiculous on the business. But we've seen the tougher the government gets on a business, especially a consumer, or even any sort of retail consumer, based relationship of a, business and a consumer, the more the business will take it out on the consumer. EAnicron's already fucking evil. Yeah. And they're going to get shit on, and they're going to keep getting shit on for this for a while. And then you have Activision Blizzard, another, evil company. Now imagine if the, federal government, the Federal Gambling Commission decides to step in and regulate how they set up their loot boxes. That means they have to regulate how Overwatch is done. Well, if they regulate how Overwatch is done, well, World of Warcraft has this little shop over here that you can buy things. That may need to be overseen and oversought and, seen more regulation. That increases prices and, causes delays, that causes problems for the consumer. And that's just a baseline, quick off the top of my head, problem that can happen. That's not even going into, the minute details. So, EAnicron fucking up so badly because it thought we were retarded, did something so monumentally stupid, it's going to have repercussions that are going to echo for quite a long time. So, good job, EAnicron. You fucked up.
Thankfully for me, I rarely play games like that. So,
well, yeah, very true. I tend to avoid the loot box system in general, but the point still stands: is there is a lot of problems that EAnicron just opened up Pandora's box on. It is a complete box of shikaka.
I think the only game I play regularly is Heroes that has a loot box system at all.
Yeah, well.
Because now the thing would be if Activision got so fucking greedy they tried to put them in Warcraft.
Oh, it'll come, my friend. It will come. But since I
already did. Do you not remember the treasure chests that used to be all over the fucking place? Warcraft started.
Anyways. That gets into a whole... no, I'm really, really trying hard. We did that week of fucking Warcraft. I want to spend 1 week where we don't go there.
Not talking about it. I'm saying that some games have tried it, and they've wormed out because people get sick of it.
Yes.
It'll happen the same way.
Yeah. Okay. And since I accidentally hit the wrong button and popped the slide I was meaning to wait on for a few minutes... and this one's kind of a personal note to me, and this one, and yes, I am blocking out both of us temporarily for a rest in peace, Tsuru Hiromi, who was the original voice actress for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, and Dragon Ball Super of Bulma Briefs. She was the voice actress for Ukyo Kuonji in Ramahaf, and Meryl Strife in Trigun. Those are the three right off the top of my head. There is countless others. She did pass away yesterday, unfortunately, of aortic disease. So this is this is my kind of little special tribute to her. You know, for 31 years of voice acting, of all she did for the voice acting community, for what she did for an entire generation of anime fans. Whether or not you watch the original Japanese voice acting and whatnot, doesn't matter. She is the voice of Bulma Briefs. She is the voice of Meryl Strife. She is the voice of Ukyo Kuonji, and it's been good. So, rest in peace, Hiromi. As I bring up EAnicron.
I was going to say, I literally have never heard of this person before, so...
Original voice... I know you have probably seen Dragon Ball, or at least Dragon Ball Z at some time in your life.
Unfortunately, I've seen little bits and pieces. I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. I tried watching it, and I think I even asked you, like, where the fuck does this thing begin? And nobody seems to know. So I just...
Wait. I know you have seen Trigun.
No. Never have.
I swear to God, you have.
No, I've heard of it, and it was popular for a while, but I don't recall ever watching an episode. You maybe have sent me clips of it, but I've never watched an episode. Well, look at it this way. I can honestly say I've seen Cowboy Bebop because I've seen literally one episode. And that's it. I saw the Mad Perio.
Oh, Mad Perio, yes. Yeah, no matter
that is literally the only episode I've seen.
No matter how much I try, I can't seem to get this bugger to be able to watch more anime. Unless it's, you know, like Alucard and Hellsing, then he's on that. Hellsing. Like, see, I bring up Hellsing, he's on it like a fat kid on a cupcake.
I knew about Hellsing though far longer than when we met, so that was something I already had an interest in.
Yeah,
I've had all the books and I've watched the original over and at least half of the new one before I lost it. But that Sailor Moon I really enjoyed. That was something that Angela introduced me to, and that actually was nice.
Sometime you should watch Sailor Moon Crystal, the new series that covers all the original manga. I mean, what?
I had never even heard of it until just now.
Anyways, also as like another quick note, and this one is like news in motion. Is I guess AC/DC guitar legend Malcolm Young passed away at 64 today. Also,
I didn't see who it was, but I saw the link saying that one of the founding people had passed away. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of AC/DC and Malcolm Young. Well, of Malcolm Young in AC/DC. I grew up listening to AC/DC, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, all that, Ride the Thunder. And I love AC/DC. They're some of their newer stuff I haven't been exactly a fan of, because that's it's like Metallica. I'm not a big fan of their newer stuff either. Again, or Aerosmith. I'm not a big fan of their newer stuff either. It's like you guys have gotten old. For the love of God, retire. Don't do like Kiss has done. Retired 3-4 times, and then finally decide to retire. No, just legitimately hang up the guitar, enjoy your money, and die of old age. Some of these guys aren't getting the memo.
Yeah.
And but no, with the passing of Malcolm Young from AC/DC, that one's also a really sad note for me too, and that really does suck a lot, because AC/DC I have a lot of good memories involving AC/DC, mosh pits, DJing, just random parties, all the Guitar Hero, all the good damn Guitar Hero, holy shit. And it really is kind of a really sad note for me. So there is that. So rest in peace, Hiromi and Malcolm Young. Oh. Wow, I guess Discord is still having issues. Their hamster got out of the wheel and is terrorizing the studio. Good job, guys. Dumbass.
I have not had any problems on my end, but
oh god, and Laura's. I'm trying to wrap my brain around some of the Twitch RP stuff, especially like the GTA and the what's that fantasy game that Laura plays. Not Ark, but the other one.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him play it. I don't know what it's called.
I can't remember. Dark Side RP, that's it. And RP is a strange territory in general. We can both agree on that. RP is a strange territory in general. Especially when you go to RPing with other digital entities who are real people who have their own audiences, and you get some weird crossover audience things. It's like, if you're going to perform like that, just get on a stage. And I think my co-host is dying here. Has gone flatline. Is there any brain activity? Is he still awake?
Not much.
Check.
I'm coming off of a couple of day bender, let's put it that way. I've had 2 cups of coffee, and I don't think that's even going to be enough to keep me awake today.
Well, good thing we're almost at the finish line. We're actually going back to 1-hour episodes because I'm tired of the fucking editing. Holy shit!
He says that, yeah. That we'll see how well that'll be. I watched the Dragon show with Kage today, and it was 4 hours and what was it? 3 hours and 50 minutes, and at 2 hours and 40 minutes, like, yeah, we're going to wrap, which I've found out if you ever get alkali drunk and he starts saying goodnight to everybody, leave and come back. And after the 6th or 7th round of goodbyes, then you can say something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't even have those kind of memory issues. What the fuck?
But But anyway, but no, with the RP thing, you have RP'd. I mean, you played a lot of Second Life.
I still do.
I mean, okay, and okay, I have done the RP thing myself. Not counting like visiting Moonguard and whatnot on WoW. Like, I have done message boards back in the day. I've done some RP stuff, and I just, if I want to RP, I'm gonna put on a costume, I'm gonna climb on a stage, and I'm gonna read from a fucking script. Because if I'm gonna roleplay, I'm gonna do that. Or I'm gonna put on like foam armor. I'm gonna go out in the woods with like 30 buddies, and we're gonna beat the shit out of each other all weekend. Video game RPing is always been kind of a weird note to me.
Yeah, it's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. I'll grant you that. And being in theater and acting more, I think, is probably why. Is even since I moved back, I've been kind of distancing myself from it. Not to mention the fact the Ravens, the RP group I'm on, with Second Life has moved a few times because RP is dying out on Second Life. There's really, like, they have an RP going right now, which is basically post-apocalyptic. They're guarding a train as it's traveling. Well, this will just be like, whoever from our team is there, and then we'll set up a couple of, prim dummies.
Yeah.
There's no real RP to that. There's no, both sides have player RP anymore. That's kind of, you can still get that in Warcraft sometimes, but
as long as you avoid the Dalaran sewer brothel on, I think it's Moonguard, fucking avoid that, by the way. That place is weird.
What are you talking about?
Don't ask me to explain. For the love of God, don't ask me to.
Okay, just tell me where it is then, because I only knew
I just
one
said
brothel.
The Dalaran brothel on Moonguard. That's all I need to say. If you play World of Warcraft, and I really didn't want to talk about World of Warcraft
I'm
at all, and
actually
this is
on
gonna be like
Moonguard.
this is gonna be like the smallest notation I have here. But the Dalaran brothel on, I think it is Moonguard. It's more one of the other RP servers.
Or Proudmoore might be.
Might be Proudmoore. I don't know. Might be Silver Moon. I think it's Silver Moon, actually. It's Horde side. There's a very strange brothel I've been informed of, and I went and visited once.
Because of course you did.
Never again.
You're not ever going to be that lonely again, are you?
I'm never going to be that curious again. That's for fucking sure.
He'll be lonely. He just won't be brave.
I wanted to see what everyone was talking about for a minute. I was there for 5 minutes, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
Well, you know how that started. It's like, well, the Alliance have Goldshire in, so we need something.
Yeah, but anyways, it got kind of weird.
No.
Anyways, moving on.
Really, RP is... the only place I haven't been to check is Mux.
Yeah.
I think Mux and RP might still be pretty good, and actually Mux are the best place for it because you can have true privacy.
Yeah.
If you're in Warcraft or you're in Second Life, if you chat in public, there is a radius that people can hear you.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
In Urk, granted, you can have separate channels, but Urk and Mux especially, you can it's perfect. You can walk around, you can do whatever, and you can lock rooms. So nobody else can come in while you're role-playing. Or you can, like Spider, if I were to log on to Tapestries or Furry Muck, Spider has a home there.
Yeah.
You can just go back home. I think that's kind of why Second Life and games like that, MMOs, aren't as RP heavy anymore, is because there is no way really to. You can whisper, but hey, then you get the fun of
legitimate privacy is a
there's no
is an
privacy
issue.
in those things.
Yeah,
And
but at the
you
same
can only
time,
go so long without privacy.
well, but at the same time, you have to consider. I also sit here and look at going back kind of to TwitchCon a bit. They had several panels talking about Twitch RP and like the GTA RP. Recently, one of the biggest RPers on Twitch, Sheriff Eli, quit GTA. They quit all of the GTA RP because he was pretty much a raging fucking douchebag and alienated so many of the other people on the server that they forced him to quit. Which is another problem with RP, is sometimes you get so wrapped up into a character, if you actually hit a groove, if you hit a stride, with the character, is you tend to forget the blur between reality and, your character. And
that's very easy. Yes,
and that it is very easy, and that will negatively affect both what you are doing in the game and in real life. And that's why I sit there and I make that's why I make the joke about, if I want to RP, I'll throw on a costume and go on a stage and do a performance. Because the moment you are off stage, the reality you just wrapped yourself in dissolves. Whereas when you are RPing on a game to an audience of anonymous people, there's no set end point. You begin, and only when you turn off the stream and you go home for the night does it end. And even then, if you get bored and you want to do it again, there's, there's no real life constraints or anything. It's like, no, you just turn on the game, you turn on the stream, and you're off and going again. That is why Twitch RP can be so very, actually just RP in games in general can be very alluring and provocative and to a certain extent dangerous, because the line between reality and the game blurs completely. I know you've seen that quite often when you were playing Second Life.
Yeah. Oh.
And with how a lot of things are today, blurring the line between fiction and reality is a rather dangerous thing to be engaging in.
It can be a well that you can never crawl out of.
Exactly.
If I have a feeling that's why a lot of the gaming and roleplay I did, especially in MMOs, because they all happen to come around the shrub years. So,
yeah,
the economy's the world or the country is shit. Gee, well, I guess I'm going to go stare at a screen for another 5 years.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if the new generation of MMOs are about to hit.
Possibly.
Now we're in another shit situation. So
possibly, maybe.
How bad are the distractions going to be for this one? I wonder.
We don't know quite yet, but that is an interesting point. Is when and that's also the allure and the seductive nature of video games. And when you find this niche, when you find this. And I'm not actually saying anything bad about RP. There are some great RPers out there.
Oh, there's some wonderful RPers.
Fucking terrible RPers too. And then you get some RPers.
I make no secret of it.
And then you get some RPers where you sit there and go, call the asylum now, call the asylum now.
Okay, question. What happens if that RP character's home is an asylum? Asking for a friend.
Go fuck yourself.
I don't have anywhere for my asylum to be right now. I can't do that. I don't have a home at the moment. Hey, I got a sweet-ass asylum. You'd be jealous. And on that note...
Oh my.
I think I broke him. I didn't intend to do that, just for the record.
Anywho, on that note, you know what? I think I'm going to call it a day here.
Yeah, I think he needs to distance himself from me now before his head explodes.
Yeah, just a bit. I hope everyone's had some fun and enjoyed the show today, because I'm gonna keep this shit about an hour long. I don't want people to. There we go. Oh shit! I fucked that up. I fucked up my own joke. I fucked up my goddamn joke.
Take two.
No, I'm not going to re-edit this. Anyways, I hope everyone's had a good day, has a good week. If you don't hear from us before Thanksgiving, which is very possible, I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving, has a good, safe, and friendly Black Friday, and a very enjoyable Cyber Monday. And on that note, any last words, sir?
No, not really. I need to eat supper.
So, I'm Chaos Infinitium, that's Raving Rendal, and we will talk to you all later.